everyone. Sorry we're a little late. We had some technical difficulties. I'll wait a couple minutes just to let people join. All right, we'll get started. Obviously, I am not Senator McMorrow. I'm Molly. I'm her chief of staff. And as most people probably know by now, Mallory is on, she just started maternity leave. So I'm going to be taking over for her today. And moving forward, just for the next couple of coffee hours, it'll be either a member of our staff or we'll have guests come on and talk about specific issues. So today we're going to be reviewing the governor's state of the state from Wednesday and just kind of going over what was in the state of the state address. And you can put in any questions that you have in the comments and we will do our best to answer them. Granted, I might not be able to, so somebody from our office will follow up with people to get answers to any questions that you have, or feel free to email our office any questions and we can answer them that way if I can't do them live. So to get started, so outside of State of the State, just a quick update on something that our office, we've reintroduced a legislation, a bill that we had introduced last session that will allow the Secretary of State to redevelop two different legacy plates. So the blue plate, which was issued in the state between 1983 and 2007, and the black plate, which was issued in the state between 79 and 83. And so we introduced this last year, and it got a lot of really good feedback, and people were excited about it. It's a way to raise revenue for the state, for the roads, without raising taxes. So we're excited to have reintroduced that. That is Senate Bill 45. So moving into State of the State from Wednesday, the governor kind of started with just reviewing some of the things from last year. Obviously, we've been in a pandemic, and that has caused a lot of struggle and budgetary restraints, and I think a lot of the goals and objectives that the governor had going into these first 2 years has been limited because of the pandemic. But we did see some good things come out of 2020. We were able to pass two bipartisan budgets that addressed COVID head-on. We were able to fund public education and revenue sharing without seeing too big of hits there. And we rolled out the governor's Reconnect program, which is education and talent pipeline, and major criminal justice reform with the Clean Slate bill package that was signed into law last year. And that allows certain nonviolent convictions to be expunged from people's public record, which will give people more access to jobs, careers, education, renting and buying homes, and just being productive members of society. Moving into the year or two ahead here, the governor unveiled her Michigan recovery plan. So this encompasses a lot, so bear with me, and I'm just going to kind of go through as much information as I can. So the first piece of the recovery plan deals with public health and vaccination rollout. So last month, Congress appropriated $90 million in additional resources for vaccine distribution in Michigan. And so that funding will go to the governor's goal of getting 50,000 shots in arms per day. And that's going to also help local health departments with administrative costs, staffing, equipment, and supply needs. And then an additional $575 million will go to COVID testing, tracing, and lab capacity. So that is exciting things on the horizon for vaccination distribution. And we will be linking to the best information and updates from the Oakland County website on how to sign up for an appointment and look at appointment availability on the Oakland Health Department website. Moving into another part of the recovery plan is related to jobs in the economy. So $225 million will go to 3 new programs, grant programs through the MEDC. One will be targeted towards restaurants. One will be for small businesses with less than 9 employees. And the third will go to grants for high-tech startups. And we will make sure to give more information as we have the specifics for those grant opportunities. Moving forward, we'll be sure to share those. And the governor also called on the legislature to pass legislation that would permanently extend unemployment benefits from 20 weeks to 26 weeks. That would bring Michigan in line with about 40 other states that already do that. And we are incredibly supportive of extending those UIA benefits. Portions of those funding will go to food assistance, rental assistance, property tax assistance to people who have really been struggling throughout the pandemic. And will include the creation of a rural development Office of Rural Development, which will deal with some of the struggles that rural areas and communities in the state have. So broadband and infrastructure, things like that. And we'll continue rolling out Reconnect, which was passed last year, and the Futures for Frontliners program. So there'll be some wraparound support for those programs in 2021 as well. And we're excited to see people take advantage of those opportunities. And the final thing that is all part of the recovery plan is $1.7 billion that has been allocated to the state to help schools and public educators and schools with the struggles that they've been dealing with learning loss for students, and just making sure that we can focus on helping teachers, administrators, and students get back on track here. Then moving into another big priority that we are expecting this year is the prescription drug affordability. So the bipartisan prescription drug task force recently came out with its policy recommendations. And so the legislature will be tasked with implementing a bipartisan package of bills to take on those recommendations and make prescription drugs more affordable in Michigan. And we are excited to be a part of that. and working with our colleagues in doing that. And we will also link to the prescription drugs task force's findings and report for anybody who's interested in looking more specifically at what those recommendations look like, but we'll be sure that as those conversations continue to keep people updated. And then another big piece of the state of the state was the Clean Water Plan. So, you know, Michigan has been dealing with PFAS for years now, and you know, people not trusting the water that comes out of their tap, and this is a big issue. So there will be a $500 million investment in federal funding, and then additional state funding to several clean drinking water programs. So that is lead service line replacement, drinking water asset management grants, water infrastructure grants, and then safe wastewater management. And that is split up into several different types of grant programs as well. Again, we'll make sure to share the specifics of all of that, but I don't want to be throwing around too many numbers at you now. So, but a main goal here is to make sure that people have access to clean drinking water, and that we are ensuring that we continue to take advantage of being, you know, the Great Lakes state, and that means that we should be investing in our clean water resources. So that was another large piece of the governor's announcement that we are excited to work on, because clean water has been a major issue for our office and our district for our term so far. And then, of course, the roads is always, fixing the roads is always going to be something that we'll be focusing on moving forward. So the governor had introduced plans to work with local communities to make sure that local roads are being funded, and that is through state dollars and bonding. And we will make sure to kind of share more specifics on that as that is rolling out. But I think that as we move into another budget cycle, we'll also see more specifically what that looks like. And so I am going to shift over, and I know that that was a very quick overview of state of the state, but that was the main kind of overhead of it. And I think that in the next couple of weeks and couple of months, we will have a lot more specifics on the rollout of all of this. But we wanted to give everybody kind of top line plans and things that we were looking forward to getting involved in. So I'm going to see if I can figure out if anybody has asked any questions. And I apologize, this is the first time I'm doing this. And so let's see if anybody has anything. And if I can't see them and you have them, then I promise we will try to track them down. But just in case, if you have questions, please send them to our office. Send mcmorrow@senate.michigan.gov, and we will try to answer them that way. Or you can call us. And I think Liz in our office is maybe popping into the comments to see if anybody's got any questions. All right. I'm not seeing anything popping up. So just so everybody knows too, I forgot to mention this before, we will also drop down in the comments our coffee hour from a couple of weeks ago. which introduced our whole team and kind of explained what maternity leave for Senator McMorrow means for the office and for the work that we're doing. And so if you have any questions about that, I think those are all answered on that coffee hour. So we will link to that as well in case you're interested in watching it and kind of getting to know who works in our office. And outside of that, next week we will have a coffee hour dedicated to questions on vaccinations and vaccination distribution. And so check out, keep kind of following along on our Facebook for more information and details on that. And I think that is going to be all. I know that was a quick coffee hour. And again, I know that was kind of an information dump, but we wanted to make sure that people had a breakdown of the state of the state. We'll share more information as we have it. And hope to see everybody next week.